What's up guys, Trav here from Fit Faster Performance, and I'm taking you through the off-season strength and conditioning workout from the Stat.com website. Now, we're going to go through months 4 to 6 now, alright? Things step up to the next level with this, the exercises get a little bit more challenging and the intensity goes up, as in you're going to be lifting heavier loads and all that fun stuff too. That being said, probably a good idea to at least book in with a personal trainer for an appointment to go through the exercises to make sure you know them at least once. Otherwise, like I mentioned earlier, going and joining a group so you can actually get the benefit of good quality training and instruction to start with. Building a solid foundation is what it's all about when it comes to strength training. So anyway, I'm going to set you up and we're going to go through our 3 main workouts. So this is a 5-day workout. Days 2 and 4 are the same speed, conditioning, agility drills that you've been doing already. Alright, on top of that, there's some extra sprint work that's going to happen. So let's start with day 1. So day 1 exercise, we first start with a hang clean. Hang clean, you're going to grab a bar like this in an overhand grip. The bar comes down to just above your knees. Your shoulders stay back and tight. And then you're going to explode upwards and drop underneath the bar. And end up in this position here. Now, looks like this. Now, it is fairly technical. If you don't have a lot of strength in your upper back, I suggest you actually do this exercise instead. A bent over row from the similar position, pull to your stomach, squeeze for 3 seconds, back down to your knees. Squeeze for 3 seconds, back down to your knees. After that, we go into a front squat. So, it ends up in this same position here, which is actually quite a difficult position for a lot of people to get into. Trying to force those elbows up is quite difficult. This is what it looks like. Now, if you have problems with getting into that position, back squats can be okay, otherwise you can do the front squat like I showed you guys earlier with a dumbbell holding it in that position, or even a kettlebell, just the same. Doesn't really matter as long as you're getting that load in the front of your body and it's heavy enough to make your working your legs hard. After that, we go to back raises. Back raises can often be done on a back extension machine. Now, I don't have one in here, but I use a couple of different ways to do it. So, first way you use is just on the floor. Alright, so starting like this, flat on the floor, squeezing through your butt, lifting your upper body off, and dropping back down. Alright, can be hands down here, can be hands out the front, squeeze, and come back down. Another really good way to do it is to use one of these exercise balls and you use your feet up against the wall. So we set up like this, hands across your chest, squeeze through the butt, extend up, hold for a second, squeeze and extend, and always keep your chin tucked with this. You want your chin basically to stay in line with your posture all the way throughout. So if your spine is like this and you move like this, the head stays like that. We don't want to be in this hyperextended position. No good for anybody's neck. Alright? After that, we go to incline dumbbell press. Incline, we just put onto a bench. That's probably a bit high. Grab a pair of dumbbells and doing your pressing up from there. After that, it's a single arm dumbbell row. So just grab hold of one of these things. I'll show you a couple of different ways you can do this. One you can do is just lean forward, put one hand on the knee and roll it up to your side. Another way you can do it is to use the bench. Put the hand on the bench, do it that way, put one knee on the bench and do it that way. Doesn't matter too much, just make sure you really get that squeeze at the top If the weight's too heavy that you can't actually get your shoulder all the way back, make it lighter. You'll get far better benefit out of a lighter exercise or a lighter weight with full range of motion. After that, we go to a seated military press. Now, I'm not a big fan of seated military press. I'm not a fan of seated exercises for athletes. In soccer, you're standing on both your feet, you're not sitting down. So if you're going to be strong, you might as well be strong standing up. So if you're going to do this one, you can bring the back up and do your press like so. But in my opinion, I think you should just do it standing like we did it in previous workouts. So from here, or even one at a time, or you can do it in a kneeling position, and this is really good for your abs and getting them to fire up. So squeeze your abs, squeeze your butt, exactly the same thing, pressing up from there, or one at a time you might find is a whole lot easier and you can get a lot more strength working out that way. Alright, you'll finish that day one workout with some sprints. Just check the program for all the information on that. Moving on to day two, we go to a dumbbell bench press to start. So I've shown you this one before. We go to a flat bench. Grab these guys and pressing up the front. Like I said before, doesn't matter which grip you use. If your hands are facing this way or anywhere in between, all going to be okay. After that, you're going to go to max reps dips. So on the dip bars over there, as many as you can do. And you always try to get as much range of motion as you can from the start. Now, for you, if you're not that strong, maybe you're only getting a small range of motion, that's okay to start with. As you get stronger, you'll be able to go down further. Doing some stretching is going to help that a big time as well, so make sure you don't skimp out any stretches. I know when I was younger I did not want to stretch. That was a stupid idea. Me now would slap me back then around the back of the head for being so stupid. After that, we go to pull-ups. We got max reps on the pull-ups. Now, this one you may want to use the band, or you may have gotten strong enough already that you don't need to use the band. So, as many as you can do. This grip, and that's it. Pretty simple. And just to be clear, when you do a pull-up or a chin-up, you don't. This is not going to cut it. You have to make sure your chin is up over the bar every time. You're always trying to get into this position. Same as if you do it this grip, you're still trying to get to here. And you've got to come all the way down each rep. Alright? Going to here and doing your reps, that's not how it works. That's not the exercise. If you need to start that way because you're not quite strong enough, that's okay. But make sure you've got that in your mind to work that full range of motion. That's what you're aiming for. Alright? Last one, 3-in-1 shoulder raises. Now, with this, it's a little bit tricky and it may be a little bit heavy. I'll show you a couple of variations with it. So grab hold of your dumbbells at the sides, arm goes up, out to the side, down, up, back to the front and down. Other side, up, around, down, up, around the front and down. Doesn't take very much weight with this exercise because it's quite challenging and there's a fair amount of reps to be able to get done. If the weight that you have is too much, here's a few real easy ways to do it. Get your adjustable dumbbells. Pull the weights off, grab hold of the smallest ones you need. Now you can do exactly the same thing like this. Up, around, down, up, around, down, up, around, down, up, around, down. You always want to try and lead with the thumb up, alright, that just puts the shoulder in the best position. That's going to get the most out of the exercise. Another thing to keep in mind when doing this stays tight throughout. Butt tight, abs tight, posture as tall as you can. If you're throwing this thing around and you're jerking the weight to try and get it up in position, it's too heavy, you're really not going to get the most out of the exercise and you're probably going to do yourself an injury, which is no good for anybody. Once again, after this workout, you're going to finish with some sprints, see the program for what your interval distances are going to be. Alright, so we move on to day 5 now, and we go on to back squats. So back squats I showed you earlier with the bar. So we'll grab hold of this guy, up here, dropping down into your squat, up nice and tall. With a squat, you always want to try and get to that low position where the top of your thighs are parallel to the floor. If you're not flexible enough, maybe you can't get there yet, but once again, do some stretching, do some strength training, that'll help to loosen those things up too. Right, after that, go on to lunges. Lunges can be done in a variety of different ways. With your resistance, you might want to hold dumbbells at your sides like this. And let's say you're going to do a forward lunge, it's going to look like this, or you might do a reverse lunge, which I would prefer. This way, up nice and tall. Reverse lunge just allows all the emphasis to go onto that front leg. It means you really work it hard, you get a whole lot more control. Again, if you want to hold this differently, holding it out the front like this is a really good option, and highly recommend that one too. After lunges, we do good mornings. Now, good mornings you traditionally do with a barbell, and it looks like this. So your tricks with the good morning exercise. 1, you may not use much weight or any weight to start with. 2, got to have the abs engaged. If they're not engaged, all the pressure goes through your low back, you can extend out too much, and you're on the way to injuries and that sort of thing. Again, chin stays tucked, so if I'm here when I start and I lean forward, it follows me all the way through. Chest stays up tall the way through as well. And that's it. Emphasis here is on your butt and your hamstrings. So when you get into this position here, you'll feel them on stretch. You're going to squeeze through your glutes and hamstrings, pull you up nice and tall. Alright, with good mornings, if you don't have a barbell, you can do that with a dumbbell. A couple of different ways. One is just to hold it straight out in front of you like this, and that'll work. Or you can sit it behind your head like this. Just don't crane your neck forward, alright? That's no good. So, once again, in that position, or in that position. Okay? After that, we go on to back raises. Back raises I showed you earlier, which would be feet up against the wall or flat on the floor, just bringing the chest up off the floor. Calf raises. Calf raises are really important to do on something that's elevated. Alright? That gives your calves enough room to go on stretch. Okay, so calf raise really works well like this, where you can drop down low and get a lot of stretch and then push up to the top. Now, you may want to do one leg at a time. You may want to hold a weight in your hand by one side, one hand on the wall, alright? Whichever way works for you. And then the last one on that one is if you've got some mates around, go and play some football, kick it around 20-30 minutes, and you'll get some sprint training, some cardio work in there. Alright, that's it. That's months 4 to 6. We've just been through 6 months of off-season programming, strength and conditioning for soccer. And yeah, if you follow this, you will end up in amazing shape before the season starts, and your game will be so much better by the time that it kicks off. Alright, get on with it. If you've got any questions, email me travis@fitfaster.com.au, or of course check the Stack website. All the links are provided in the article that I've written. Alright, do it.